Okay, so we are going to work through the evolution review questions in this class period, and I don't know if we'll finish, but we'll see as far as we get. So it says the groove snail is found all over Western Europe. Some snails have no bands, some have one or more bands. Color of the shell can vary too. Snails can be yellow, brown, pink, or white. Provide an example of the color and stripe variation in the groove snails. Why might a darker colored groove snail be found in the woods and a lighter snail in a garden bed? So, variation, yeah. What is variation caused by?
Natural selection.
Yeah, but think back to genetics. It's a term with Hardy-Weinberg.
Equilibrium.
Close. Genes have different forms. Different forms of genes are called alleles. Yeah, yeah. So we can say snails have variation through different alleles. And then we mentioned natural selection. So we can say shell color, might, I don't know, be beneficial in different environments. You know, so the dark equals camel, right? Camel in woods.
Light would be like sand.
Yep. Lighter due to sandy soil, etc. Okay. 2, list the 5 conditions that must be met in order for a population to be in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium.
No mutations take place.
Yep, no mutation takes place.
No genes are transferred from other or to or from places.
Yep. I heard Derek, population size is large. Levi just said no genes are transferred.
Mating is random.
Yep. Okay, between populations. So I'm just going to put in parentheses, that means no emigration or I'm just totally butchering those words. There we go.
I think you said emigration.
Yeah, I did. That's why, yeah. Mating is random.
No selection occurs.
No selection occurs. They don't favor. It's just completely random. Okay. 3, provide the algebraic equation for Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. What does each piece of the equation represent? So
P squared plus 2pq plus q squared equals 1.
Yep. Wow, where's my plus sign? All right, so your p squared represents.
Homologous dominant.
Yep, I'm just going to abbreviate. 2pq.
Heterozygous.
Heteros. And my q.
Homologous recessive.
Homo recessive. Should do bold here. Okay, estimate the genotypic frequencies of a population at Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium given the following allele frequencies: 0.75 for a big W, 0.25. So here, I hope you made a Punnett square, right? So I'm going to pull up notebook. Yeah, make a Punnett square. And they already give you your numbers for the top, so.
Oh, I forgot.
Close. Okay, so I'm going to make my really bad Punnett square here. 0.75 here, and then 0.25, and then over here.
Same thing. I don't remember what 0.7.
Okay, so then we're going to fill in our Punnett square. So 0.75 times 0.75 is 0.5625. Okay, that was really bad. I don't know what I was going for there. Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, and then 0.75 times 0.25, 0.1875. So that's the same down here, 0.1875.
It'll be 0.0265.
Yep. Actually, 0.06, 0.0625. All right, so I'm just going to keep that off to the side. Bring this back up to the front. Okay, so they want to know the genotypic frequencies. So my big W, what's my big W? Yeah, 0.5625. Big W, little w. Nope. 3.7. We got to add them. So you got to add these two. Big W, little w. These two boxes right here.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
10, 15.
No, little w.
Oh.
Okay, and then little w, yeah, 0.0062. Okay. Cool. That's it. One page done. Okay. Oh, so we got some examples, and then we have to think about the agent of evolutionary change. So pollen is carried a great distance by a bee, introducing new alleles into a clover patch.
Gene flow.
Gene flow. Some of you are like, oh, God, I didn't know that. A small population of goats are stranded on an island and become distinctly smaller in size than goats on the mainland.
Genetic drift.
Genetic drift. Dandelions self-fertilize and create a population of homozygous individuals.
Non-random mating.
Non-random mating. Okay, a population of lizards living on dark rock formations are darker in color.
Selection.
Selection. Natural selection is taking place there. And then chemical changes.
Mutation.
Yeah, any change in the DNA is a mutation.
We get a minion, you know.
Why is it here to
Let me guess a couple.
Genetic drift is a type of geographical isolation. But we are looking for the agent of evolutionary change. So these were the 5. God, what chapter was that?
23, I think. Wasn't it? Oh no, it's
20.3. Yep.
Yeah,
So it had to be
yeah.
from chapter 20.3. So, yeah.
You answered that question wrong, didn't you?
I did indeed.
All right. In the table below, define the bottleneck effect with the founder. Oops. Yeah. And yeah, founder effect, and describe the commonalities. So what's the bottleneck effect?
Like first population
Barely
staying,
It chokes off.
barely any diversity.
Yeah. So we have a drop in genetic diversity, and what causes that drop?
Low population.
No,
Like,
no
like,
new thing
like,
coming in, right? No
Like
new
a
genes.
disease.
Like a disease or like a natural disaster. Something just comes, and all of a sudden, the population is decimated, and then you're just left with a few alleles. Okay? So I'm going to say due to a natural disaster, maybe a forest fire sweeps through. But it's usually a natural disaster, or maybe like human influence, over hunting. Okay, what's the founder effect?
Rare alleles in the source population shows up.
Yeah, they go to, so a small group of individuals from the main population kind of break off and
then it's
go to a new
common,
environment. So I'm going to just say individuals break away from a large group to a new environment. I mean, just think, founders, people sailing across the Atlantic. Okay, commonalities.
They both start with small populations.
They
Oh.
no, they don't start with small. They describe small. Yeah, so less genetic diversity. You can say change in allele frequency, because now we only have a small sample size of the large. Maybe you want to say loss of alleles. Think about the Amish people with polydactylism. You could also say both of these, moth, both are types of genetic drift. Lots of similarities there. Okay, a population of bacteria in a river downstream from effluent, which is like sewage, from a hospital were sampled and found to be different than the population upstream of the effluent. The population downstream had a genotype that provided the bacteria a greater resistance to antibiotics. Describe the agent of evolutionary change that may be at work on the downstream population of bacteria.
Would that be like mutation or something? Selection?
Yes, mutations.
Mutation,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. So the bacteria, I'm going to put this in bold so you can see. The bacteria
Literally just
that
wrote down
has the
I didn't have
resistance,
that.
um,
Yeah, I did the thing.
might have a mutation.
It's just the thing there.
That allows them to survive and reproduce. Reproduct. Nice. I still spelled it wrong. Reproduce. No, I didn't. Did I?
I don't think there's.
Looks familiar.
Reproduce. Reproduce.
I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know.
Microsoft Word. Come on, man. Okay, define fitness.
Oh, I'm not on that page.
The ability to survive.
Yeah, the ability to survive and
Reproduce.
reproduce. Or yeah. It's a measure of how many offspring you can produce. Ability to survive and. Okay, my thoughts are all over. Okay, so maybe you want to say the number of offspring.
Survive. That's what I just said.
Left. Yeah, survive, whatever. Okay. List 3 factors that may determine reproductive success.
I want to say it unless
Mechanical.
I have all 3. Mating success. I think is one, right?
Don't feel like really nervous.
True.
Yeah.
This was in page 409. It was in the summary box. So if you want to read up more on that.
Yeah, I got some studying to do.
Oh, sorry. Okay, use the following data set. What is the difference in fitness between the populations? Which population has a greater fitness and why? Okay, so to figure out the fitness is you have to figure out the total population. So what's the total population? Yep. Sorry, I was trying to do bold here. Oh my gosh, come on, bold. Okay, total pop equals 24 individuals, right? So for population A, to figure out the fitness, 20.
20 out of 24.
Yep, 20 divided by 24. Okay, so then you get 0.83. Population B, 4 divided by 24, 0.17-ish. So then you take a look at the difference of the two fitness. Yeah, it's huge.
Because they're spiky.
Right,
They can
so-
defend themselves.
Population A, which is the spiky, obviously has the greater fitness. I mean, you probably didn't have to do the math. You probably could have just looked at those numbers and been like, yeah. Okay, if the difference in the above population had a genetic basis and the fitness of the two populations remained the same, which allele would eventually be removed? Smooth. So think back to that green pea, yellow pea lab, right?
That's weird to think of.
So long ago. Okay. Explain how the following processes affect genetic variation within a population. So negative frequency dependence selection was on, actually all of these are on page 409 through 410. So what's the effect of a negative frequency dependence?
Rare phenotypes become more common.
Yeah, rare phenotypes are favored. Favored means more common. Okay, positive frequency dependent.
Less rare, it's the medium.
Oh, it favors the
Intermediate.
common.
The
Yep.
intermediate, like,
So we'll say it favors the common forms, and then that just means the oddballs, right, are removed. Or the rare ones, maybe oddballs is not. Okay, oscillating.
It'll switch between, it'll favor one and not favor the other.
Yep. So it'll favor one phenotype at one time, and then switch. And the effect of this,
It maintains genetic variation.
got it right there, yeah. Maintain genetic variation. And then the heterozygote advantage. What does that mean?
Heterozygous alleles work together.
Yeah, so it favors with both alleles, right?
Mhm.
Because they're heterozygote.
And it maintains both alleles in the population.
Yep, just like in oscillate in here. well, without Minion's hard work here, you know, we could still be on first page here. So. All right. Sickle cell anemia is a hereditary disease that affects the structure of hemoglobin. The homozygous form of the disease is usually fatal, and individuals with both homozygous alleles rarely make it to reproductive age. The disease is common in Central Africa, where malaria is also present, provide a reasonable explanation of why the homozygous allele for this disease has not been removed from the population through natural selection. So first off, who benefits? Who are the individuals that benefit?
Heterozygotes.
Yeah, so you could say the heterozygotes
Are favored.
are favored, and they carry.
The other allele.
Yep, they carry the. Are we looking for the homozygous allele here?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like the homozygous won't be eradicated.
Yep. So it won't be eliminated. So it won't be eliminated. Cool. Should I zoom in more? Sorry, I just realized you guys are like a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I can also change my font size too, so I mean, I guess that's something I can do. Okay, so now we have to label these. Cool. So first, A, what is A showing?
Stabilizing.
Yep.
Next one's directional.
And then disruptive.
B here, we're shifting, it's directional. Well, that's just not gonna work for me.
Disruptive.
And then disruptive. Okay, that did. Okay, 15. Stabilize and selection favors individuals with intermediate phenotypes. Stabilize and selection is often seen in ducks. Duck eggs of intermediate weight often have the highest hatching success. Why do you think this is?
They'd be more calm and there wouldn't be many extremes. Something like that. Because the oddball should be picked
Because
out.
Okay, so I would think about
predators like bigger ones.
yeah. Yep, so think about like the extremes.
oddballs.
The small
Yeah.
ones don't
Yep, think about your
survive.
oddball. So large ducks,
Mhm.
you know, maybe predators favor them more. Predators favor them.
It would be eggs.
Large
It would
eggs.
be
Yeah.
eggs, yeah. I feel like large eggs.
Oh,
probably would
thank
be-
you. Sorry. Not only that, when you're making a large egg, you are using way
A lot
more
of energy,
resources.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Energy.
also uses more, I'll say resources / energy to create, to produce, to create. Okay, small eggs.
They don't
They don't survive. Okay? May not survive as well.
So that'd be just like the extremes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So then that's why intermediate is favored. Okay, so if we talked about the oddballs here, so yeah, I feel like that's a great answer. That's enough to answer that question. Okay, 16. Fill in the scientific process that the scientists in this section followed to answer the question, does the presence of predators affect the evolution of guppy color? This is page 414 through 415. So you may, I don't know, think about the guppy experiment.
Wasn't that the one where like they were dull on the
Yep,
bottom?
so one was dull and
The other was bright. And
bright and colorful. So why were the ones dull, like why were they dull colored?
High predation.
High predation rates. So we could say predation on colorful individuals will cause a population to become dull over time. So they actually took, remember those gaudy-like guppies and put them in an environment where there was high predation, and 18 months later, boom, they were dull and drab in color and smaller. So their experiment, how they set this up, they had,
lab, right?
yep, guppy populations in lab were established with, yep,
predators.
with and without predators. And I was gonna add a little bit more just to make it a fancy answer. Monitored over time. I spelled it. Nice. Review the guppy color experiment on page 414, 415 of your textbook. The results of the study are presented in the graph below. After you have completed your review, answer the questions below. 17, describe the results of the experiment. I feel like I probably have already said it. But
There's spots decrease with high predation. Spots
Yeah.
increase with low predation and spots fluctuated with
Yep.
low.
So
Yeah.
yep. So populations with no predators, or I'll just say we're colorful. That's caveman enough. Populations with predators
You.
were drab and dull in color. Okay, why do you think colorful spots are beneficial in subsequent generations without predators?
Higher fitness.
No.
Or like
Well, why?
mating.
Mating. The ladies like the colors.
did say
Did you say it?
You did say that.
Yeah.
All right. So, colorful spots in males are used to court females.
I just said ladies.
They also reflect health because it takes a lot of energy to create those vibrant colors. So if you're super colorful, ooh, you spending some time on yourself there. Got all the food. Where are you getting all that food to make those beautiful colors? I don't know. Okay, 20.8 interactions among evolutionary forces. Provide an example of how mutations in gene flow can be constructive or constrictive force to a population. So mutation for constructive.
Gives them something good.
New genes that, yeah, gives it something good. So the new, we'll just say new allele, that's beneficial.
Well, constrictive is not the other.
Okay, yep, constrictive. How could it be bad?
Genetic drift.
It
Like it
kills
could be
it
colored.
makes it easier to detect for predators.
Yeah, so we'll just say
Oddballs.
New bad genes.
oddballs, harmful. I don't know. All right, constructive for gene flow.
It can spread beneficial mutations.
Spread beneficial mutation, or beneficial, yeah, mutation from one pop to the other population.
Spread bad.
Yeah, spread bad stuff.
Well,
Can
yeah.
spread harmful. It's probably
Spread
more.
disease.
It could impede adaptation too. Isn't that one?
Yep. Okay, some grasses have an allele for copper tolerance. Grasses with this allele can grow in contaminated soils, but they grow more slowly. Describe how copper tolerance in grass on and near old mine sites can spread undesirable alleles into neighboring grass populations through gene flow.
Because they won't need the copper tolerance.
You're gonna have to say that again.
The one off the copper tolerance is what it means.
Oh, yes. That, and then there's one more thing. I don't know if you remember the data.
Like not grow.
They didn't grow. So they had the copper tolerance, and then you placed them in good soil, and they didn't grow very well. Okay, because they were expecting, toxicity. So I'm gonna say genes with copper. I'll say copper tolerance have decreased growth rates.
Normal soil.
Yeah, in normal soil. Thanks, sorry.
Yeah.
Groth.
Groth.
Broth. I'm also going to say, plants, they spread their pollen. So these copper tolerance plants can spread pollen to populations that don't need the copper tolerance.
Could that be considered like gene flow?
Okay. Limits of selection. Identify the force limiting natural selection. Thoroughbred horses have not improved in speed in 50 years, allowing... What?
Honoring the mating.
Say it one more time.
Non-random mating.
Yes.
Because they get breed.
Yeah, they just make a certain
So non-random mating, the opposite of that is we call it intense selection. Okay, or selective selection. That's not right. But okay, an allele that increases the size of a tomato and also decreases the flavor of the fruit.
Would that be a mutation?
No.
No? I didn't have this right now.
It's one done by humans. It's like
Pleiotropy.
No, it's not
I knew it.
tomato. Selection? Is it? Oh, it is that. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have this.
So this
I couldn't
is
find
a
this.
single gene with more effects. Okay.
I couldn't find this.
So this gene caused the increased size of tomato, but as a result, flavor's not as good. So. Okay, the fitness of one allele depends on the genotype of a second. We call this the Trump gene.
Trump.
No,
Oh, epistasis.
epistasis.
You start slowly typing until you get it.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the 3 conditions that must be met in order for evolution to occur by natural selection?
Phenotype variation must exist.
Yes. All right, I'll put this in bold here.
Variations must lead to differences among individuals.
And I'm going to put here reproductive success. It's got to be beneficial somehow. Well, I guess that's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, but I mean, I am going to say reproductive success
Mhm.
because that describes the. Yeah. And then the third
Variation must be genetically transmissible.
must be genetically transmissible. Genetically transmissible. So that variation contributes to reproductive success and that it can be inherited.
What is transmissible?
Pass from one generation to the
Passes,
next. Yeah. So, I mean, you could say like heritable or
Hereditary.
hereditary. No,
No.
I tried. Forgot the D. Instead of a T. Okay. Well over 50 years after Darwin's travels to the Galapagos Islands, researchers returned to test this hypothesis that beak size evolved to adapt to different food sources. Use the graph to describe what the researchers studied and what they found.
Dry
Dry
equals
years,
big
beak size
beak,
equals
wet
big.
equals small beak.
Good.
Favors
Okay, so dry season favored small. Sorry, not small, large. Gosh, large beaks due to
Sweet big seed.
thick. Yeah, I don't know.
And wet
Big
small
big
seed. Small seed.
small seeds.
Wet season favored small beaks due to small seeds. And I should say really like the beaks were ideal to handle, or beaks could handle it. Alright.
This one was hard to do.
All right, peppered moths and industrial melanism. Determine if the following statements are true or false regarding industrial melanism and peppered moths. First statement,
False.
white moths gained a survival advantage in polluted areas.
False.
That was
No, yeah.
false, okay? Because the polluted
The
areas
peppered
created
ones.
soot.
Peppered 'em, right?
Yeah,
The
so
peppered ones favored.
pepper ones were favored.
I remember this.
The peppered moth was made almost extinct by
False.
industrial.
False.
Yeah, that is false. They were pretty common. All black peppered moths are the result of a single mutation.
I didn't
That
know.
is
That's
true.
though.
That is true. Dark moths became common in areas where soot had darkened
That's
the tree.
true.
That is true. All right, determine if it's artificial or natural selection. After repeated exposure to penicillin, a population of antibiotic-resistant bacteria develops in a hospital.
Artificial. No, isn't it?
Because it's the biotic.
It's natural. That is natural. Humans are not, like, we are not purposely doing that. You know what I mean? That's
Fair
just,
enough. Yeah.
Well, next one.
Artificial.
Yeah, next
This
to
one
the-
is artificial.
yeah.
Russian researchers breed silver foxes for desired traits such as friendliness.
Artificial.
Nana.
Nana.
Okay, gray tree frogs.
Nana.
Natural.
Natural. And then farmers
Like
select
artificial.
seeds. That's artificial.
You're my Nana, bud.
So, Nana, yeah. Okay, the following illustration shows ancestors of the modern day horse placed in chronological order for their existence. Fossils of the toes and molar teeth are shown above each species. Do you spot any trends in the evolution of horses? How might the nanopus head, whatever, okay, might change your answer. Okay, so what are some trends? Let's talk about trends.
The
Only the
toes
single
and the
toe.
molars are smaller.
Okay,
Big feet.
so fewer toes.
And close to the molar, smaller molars.
Are they getting smaller?
Changing diet.
Oh, well, they
get
kinda-
bigger and
it
smaller.
goes big.
Big, small, big.
Changing diet.
Okay. So can we just say, well,
I feel
let's
like
just,
molars
let's
get
not look at
smaller.
size. Let's take a look at those ridges.
True.
You know?
Less stripes.
Yeah, less,
Yeah.
as you go through, it looks like,
They get
Stripes.
larger. Almost. Well,
Like,
it's really
more-
compact, and then it's looser.
I would,
and then it's
yeah,
more
then
compact. Then it's even looser.
So I would definitely say maybe like more complex over time, possibly, because I mean, I take a look at the first two.
Well, the first
The
one's a
first
lot more
one's more
complex than the
complex?
second one, but then the third one is
So isn't
kind
it
of
less
the same.
complexity over time?
Well, I would say more complex over time.
Really?
Or
Yeah.
doesn't it go from
But it
many
goes- it
toes
goes
to one
from-
toe?
Well, we're talking about molars, I think. The teeth.
The teeth? Oh.
Yeah, because it looks like the one's really compact, and then it looks like the other one's.
Yeah, but that
looser.
last tooth there, look at all those dang ridges.
Yeah.
You got two at the top, and then you got
Slows.
get crazy at the bottom. I don't know.
It kind of fits
Okay.
like the big, small, big theory. I don't know.
Yeah.
Big teeth, apparently.
Okay, what about the size of the horse?
Bigger.
Big, small, big, or small,
Yeah.
big, small.
We'll say generally bigger. Because that last one is just bam, like big. Okay, so if the nanopus
Yep.
had never been discovered, how might this change your answer?
We would say it just got bigger over time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
so,
wouldn't be
so you would say
fluctuating.
that it was just like directional, like, you know, that. So I'm going to say the nanopus shows that evolution is rarely, I'm going to say unidirectional just because I feel like that's a better answer than just saying directional. There's what?
There's two P's. in that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Shut up. Hey, I'm just saying.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, Microsoft Word recognizes that. Okay, anatomical evidence for evolution. Provide an example for each type of structure. Should we define them too?
I mean, yeah,
Bird.
it's like different looks, same thing, right?
Yep, so
I forgot how that works though. Like, I know it's
same.
same function, different origin or something,
Same
or same.
function, different.
No, it's not the same function.
Same look.
Same bones or whatever.
Yeah, so,
Same structure, yeah. It'd be like birds and humans and cats.
and,
Same
yeah,
Isn't it?
I'm gonna say,
Yeah, birds, humans can't, or, they all have the,
Same arms.
yeah.
Say whale arms.
so some examples. Yeah, there's lots. So I'm just gonna say limbs of cat, human, bat, horse, etc. Okay, vestigial,
Some
Useless.
Well, that, yeah, it's used to say.
different structure, same function. Oh,
Well,
never
that's
mind.
useless.
That's analogous. Oh my gosh. Why didn't I include analogous on there?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is like the one that you don't use anymore.
This
Yeah,
one
this
that's
is-
useless. It's,
yeah.
Tailbone.
As
So-
we evolve, it
Whale
just get
tail
less
bones.
needed.
Yeah.
Use the structure.
Structure that has no apparent
The
function.
tailbone.
appendix.
Yeah.
Tailbone, whale, hip bone, appendix. Yeah, there's lots. Okay. Convergent evolution and the biogeographical record. Would you expect a mammal living in water and a mammal living in a desert to have similar features? Why or why not?
No.
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 They live in completely opposite climates.
Yeah. So they are exposed to different environmental conditions. So they'll have different
They have different.
adaptations.
Yeah.
that supposed to be different adaptation?
Yep, thank you. So they'll have, sorry, forgot a word. Different adaptations. Thank you. All right, barracuda are bony fish and dolphins are mammals. Both are predators with long, streamlined bodies and sharp teeth. How did this distantly related species evolve similar traits?
They both live in the water.
Same environment.
Same environmental, same environments.
I thought barracuda were fish.
They are.
They are.
They are.
But like, if they're, how are they big as dolphins?
They're not. I don't. Does it say that?
No, it says it's long with streamlined bodies and sharp teeth.
All right, and then does anyone remember the key vocab term for this?
The what term?
Key vocab term.
Oh.
What type of evolution?
Convergent.
Convergent.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put in parentheses. Convergent evolution. Okay. 36. Select one of the 7 arguments. Okay, so I'm just going to list the 7, and I don't think I quiz you on Darwin's Critics, but I usually make you guys write an essay on it, but I did not this year.
Thank you.
Okay, not solidly demonstrated. That is 1 critic. There are no fossil intermediates. The intelligent design argument that everything that's created is perfect. Evolution violates the second law, thermodynamics. Does anyone remember the second law?
The what?
Energy's like
Matter cannot be created or destroyed.
No, that's first law.
That's the first one. Oh, it's not.
Disorder over order.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
What's it
good.
called, like,
Entropy
yeah.
are 2 improbable. Natural selection cannot account for major changes. And yeah, I'll just leave it there. And then the 7th one, for some reason I didn't write it down,
The
so
irreducible complexity argument.
okay, I'll just say complexity argument. Complexity. But I don't think I have anything on the exam about Darwin's Critics. So, like I said, this is a review guide, so I pulled something pretty much from every section just to get your juices flowing.
That's what I put right here.
Okay, reproductive isolation mechanisms. So, species occur in the same area but occupy different niches.
Geographical
Allopatch. Is that what it is?
Occur in the same
Same area.
Oh,
What?
it's the. Oh. I don't know what this is. St. Patrick, right?
Recur different niches.
No, St. Patrick.
'Cause I have
Isn't
it- No, it's not Sympatric, it's not Alliopatric. That's not what I'm looking for here.
Really?
That's in a different section.
Is it like the
Oh, is it
It's
like,
not geographical.
Is it like gene pools, that type of
Not,
stuff?
nope, that's
It's
changes in
time.
time. Oh, say it.
Ecological?
Yes, ecological. All right, species differ in mating habits.
Mechanical?
Nope.
No, behavioral?
Behavioral. Species reproduce at different seasons or times of day.
temporal?
Temporal. All right, species are structurally different.
Mechanical.
That's mechanical.
Hudson's ready for this.
And then hybrid adults are unable to reproduce.
Sterile.
Hybrid
And-
viability.
Hybrid?
Yes, hybrid and viability.
What's the difference between ecological and geographical isolation?
Wait, is geographical isolation one of the reproductive?
Is it not?
No.
That wasn't-
I don't think it
I don't think
is.
so.
The quizzes.
But that, no, it's ecological. But that's.
Okay, so
space.
it's
This
ecological.
one's in the same area.
Isn't there like a table?
Just like different.
Yeah.
Page 442 in your books?
Ecological. It's ecological, behavioral, temporal, mechanical, prevention of gamete fusion.
Yeah, so it's just not.
It's just.
I think it's
not part of it.
applied in speciations, how species can become different. Like that's a, I wouldn't say it's a reproductive barrier, but it is a barrier between the main population, so. All right.
/ infertility?
Oh, I was gonna say yes, infertility. And I spelled this word wrong. Oh, they just.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, 38. What might happen when two completely isolated populations meet?
They could mate or they couldn't.
Yeah, so they could mate and produce what? Hybrids. Okay. And then those hybrids, you know what? They could be sterile or they could be viable, right?
Or they just might not mate at all.
Right.
Might just
And then the second thing that could happen,
might lose double.
They just don't.
they don't mate. I'm also going to put up here gene flow. Okay, two major types of genetic drift. Nope. We've already discussed these. We actually had to do a little table with them.
Bottleneck.
And founder. Okay.
And founder effect.
All right, which type of speciation is the primary means of speciation? Two different places.
Oh, is that allo?
Yep, allo.
Yeah, allopatry.
Okay, Polyploidy is a very common type of polyploidy speciation that occurs in plants. Describe how this event occurs and how it might lead to a new species of plants. So how does it occur?
Yeah, very carefully.
The chromosomes may arise from
So
single
isn't it like when
species. That's what
humans
the
like trying to breed different plants?
So two plant
You get
species.
desirable traits.
Okay, so we have two. Okay, so it occurs when two plant species hybridize. So they cross. They pollinate each other. Hybrid. Why am I struggling with this word here? Yeah. Okay. Hybridize. Okay. The offspring. What do the offspring look like?
They're a
They
mixture,
show
right?
like the
They're
They're a mixture. They have a
Yeah,
copy
they're
of
blend,
each.
yeah.
Okay, so the offspring have a copy of each chromosome.
Or blend.
All right, now if they have a copy of each chromosome, one from one species, one from the other, can they mate with another species so their chromosome numbers match up?
Not really.
Not really, but plants have the amazing ability to reproduce sexually as well as asexually. Well, yeah, so they can pollinize, self-pollinate. So,
There will be a sixth grade boys basketball meeting with Mrs. Rinke in her classroom during snack break today. Sixth grade boys basketball meeting with Mrs. Rinke in her classroom during snack break. All current juniors who play football are to meet with JP in the commons during break. That's all current juniors who play football are to meet with JP in the commons during break. Baseball clothing order directions will be available in the office.
Oh, geez.
And will Emma Cannon,
sorry.
Isabel Ross,
But-
Strand, and Paige Fire, please come to the office. Thank you.
Okay, so anyways, the point is you have two species, they mix their chromosomes together, and somehow those chromosome numbers have to double.
That is early. It's 4 minutes early.
Yeah, you guys can stay here.
What's after up?
Yes.
Match up is sometimes.
Oh, another way chromosomes can match up is sometimes chromosomes double spontaneously. Meiosis.
We did not get very
That
far.
means they get like bigger.
Yeah, we have a lot to go.
Well, I guess the rest is on your own.
That'll be a fun
I
one.
can
No,
I can go stand, but
Well, we can say 24 and 25. I guess. Yeah, he's gotta get to 23.
man, we got through 42 questions.
Yeah, we did all right.
That's like, well,
That's over half. Yeah. Finish this Monday. Test
No,
Tuesday.
no, Monday test.
No, over.
logged on to 6 FPS with FPS servers.
No, it's like I
like,
did it over the break.
people with
around like 30 or something had to heat. So I started doing it, except I was waiting for it to heat.